Hey man, what it do? Yes, brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the Empire, back with another one of that Repent or Die podcast. For those that don't know who I am him, Junns the NBIC, giving all praise and glory to the heavenlies, for they are worthy to be what to be praised. Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to all you guys for your continuous support, leaving all that feedback, the positive, the negative, all things is respected and needed because it allows me to do what I do best, and that is to continue keeping my foot on you heathens, you he-gropes, in the newly installed. He the nice snakes, man. Round of applause. I can't even give you a round of applause, so we could just clap. We just gonna clap. This baby clap. Or matter of fact, we gonna do it like at the poetic spot. We just gonna snap our fingers. But yeah, man. My apologies again. Had to get something to eat. Still hungry. Now that I'm working out and I'm putting back on my muscle mass, I be like super duper hungry. And I be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But had to eat something before I came on this live. My day was a beautiful day. It was phenomenal outside. Um, got a chance to be with my client. Shout out to him. Tomorrow I won't be able to see him. Um, well, I probably will. But other than that, man, my day was wonderful. I hope you guys was having a phenomenal day. If you was having a good day, please put it in the chat, leave it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? And express yourself. Let yourself come out. Tell yourself how tell the world how you was feeling. How did your day go? You know, I gotta open my platform for you guys because I be forgetting sometimes that this is the voice for the voiceless, right? Where the people that don't have a voice to speak. And we're having with all of these followers now, it's definitely important that I get the people on a platform to speak, no matter what it is. Um, but that's not what I came on the live for. Um, just a quick FYI, I won't be. I will be doing a little bit of ranting. Might be a full rant. I don't know, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Obviously, I don't have the Bible next to me. I have my other phone, but I don't know where it's at. But I don't have that next to me, so I'm not gonna be able to pull up scriptures. If something pops up to my head, I'll definitely bring it out. But other than that, ain't gonna be no scriptures. This is just gonna be a straight up conversation. Um, Earlier today, I did a live, and I had an individual ask the question. He asked if the one percenters are ruling the world and they are causing a war against the people. How do we fight and how do we, win this war? Now, the first thing that I told the brother is the first step into victory is to know that you are at war. See, the average person does not or are not aware that there's a physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, the whole. It's a massive warfare, psychological. You know what I'm saying? It's literally a war that's being brought out, and the mass majority of the people do not know that they are at war. The second thing is he asks, um how do we win this war? Before we even get into the phase or the understanding or into the mindset of winning the war, we first gotta conquer the battles within us. Now, a lot of us got our own addictions. A lot of us got our own, you know, situations. No matter what it is, everybody got their own. And those things are situations that need to be challenged because you can't have no chinks in your armor when you walking in the path of the adversary, when you walking into when you opening doors that was never meant for bare mortals to walk in through. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So you gotta learn how to correct self. See, like I made in previous videos, we don't want to be enlightened. We want to be entertained. Now, that ideology is the main reason why we are suffering. Like I told you guys yesterday in Proverbs 21, verse 17, it says, he that desires pleasure will be poor, will suffer and be poor. Now, when you take that aspect and you look at what's going on around us, the real core reason into why we're poor and why we're suffering is because we desire too much pleasure when we're supposed to be desiring wisdom. So because you're not desiring wisdom, and wisdom is no longer in the forefront, right? Meaning back in the days, an average person, his thoughts, what he seen, what he experienced would be the way this brother or sister will live their lives. But because not that's not a reality anymore, where we're living in a times where cognitive thinking and being your own self. See, being your own self is being your own self is being weird. That's what they promote. They promote being that. You got to be in that space in order to express yourself. When expressing yourself would just be, the understanding and the experiment that you went through, and you're creating a portrait for the world to see. You understand? Now, if you're not in that space to understand that, just the basic levels, you're not ready to put yourself in a position to combat infrastructure that is completely, well put together. There's no chinks in their armor. And just like playing a game growing up, the first boards is always the easiest boards, but the higher you go up into the boards, the harder it gets. So each level that we go up on is the levels that we must correct ourselves. I must figure myself out, realize who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing, right? That's the only way humanity is gonna have a chance. Because we know that these people also got spiritual powers. See, we're spiritually disconnected. So there's a chance we might overcome. It's a big possibility. But until inner self is corrected, until ideologies is respected, where individuals is not, how can you say this, bitter or in a level of disagreements when it comes to understanding and having wisdom. You understand? These are the little things that we got to get together and before we get to that next level of getting to the final boss. Now the brother then asked me if I knew about the uh the Black Pope. I said absolutely. But there's someone higher than the Black Pope. And like I said before, these things is all around us. But the battle is not going to be won. The war won't be won until the battle has been adjourned. We have to conquer these battles before we go into this war. Now, there's days. Now, like I said before, guys, this is a little bit. You said, what are we talking about, sir? Okay, so just to give you a quick recap, I had somebody ask me a question, and the question was, with everything that's going on within the elites and the bare mortals, he asked the question, how do we win this war? And this is what I'm giving you the explanation about. The steps. We're too all over the place. We're too distracted. We're too invested into their devices. You know, the devil's devices, we're too invested into it. It's an addiction, it's a drug, it's pleasurable. It's that pleasure that I was talking about from Proverbs 21. It's pleasurable. It's something that we could just eat that forever. So that right there is what we need to overcome in order to get to that next phase. And we can't get there until we realize, like I said before, in the beginning of this live, to win a war, you must first know that you are in a war. And from being in that war, you then have to ask yourself, what must I do to prepare myself, to build myself, to have endurance, longevity inside this war? You ask, what's the devil's device? The devil's device is the same exact technology that I'm using right now to do this live. That's the devil's device. This phone right here was the gift and the curse of all humanity. I repeat, this device right here was the gift and the curse for all humanity. Why is that? See, this device right here gave you two options. See, there's always two choices that you get. It's never 3, 4, 5, 6. It's two choices. It's either it's good or it's bad. It's either you will or you won't. It's either you like or you hate. You understand? That's the only, it's always two. And with this phone, you only had two options. And these two options, listen to what I'm about to tell you. These two options is you're going to use this device to enhance the knowledge that you have acquired over the years, or you're going to use this device as the reasoning into why you don't have to be intelligent, why you don't have to study, why you don't have to read. Those are the two options. And the mass majority has taken option number 2. Option number 2 is, like I said, it's cool, it's calm, it's pleasurable. It doesn't require hard work. It doesn't require dedication. All you have to do is just give it a little bit of your time and you will have a sensational feeling. That's what we are. That's where we are at. We must go to number 1. We must go to number 1. And number 1 is quite simple. Number 1 is quite simple. Use this device to gain knowledge and wisdom. Go back as far as you can go back. It's okay. Go as far back as you can go, because at least going back there, you can fix the missing pieces, or put the missing pieces, should I say, to the individuals who was giving us these understandings, who was living in those times. You have to do that. You have to do that. This is why we have $1,000 phones. You guys are thinking about having these $1,000 phones for the pictures. You want to take pictures. You want the videos. You want the clear view when you watching movies. That's not what this phone was given unto you to do. This phone was given unto you to gain wisdom and knowledge and get closer to understanding the enemy than the enemy is understanding you. It's a big difference, people. See, when the enemy sees you, when the enemy sees that you always on the app, always on this, always on that, shopping here, shopping that, they got something called cookies. You know why they call it cookies? Because they got you. They eating off you. They eating off your data. They knowing everything about you. But you're not using what they give you to spy on you to learn about them. You're not using it. And because of that, that's the reason why it seems that we're not winning this war. It seems that we would never win. And in all reality, sometimes I feel that way as well. There's days I wake up and look outside or be outside or listen to my people speak and just see how far gone we have gone. Mentally, we're just off. Like the things that I'm saying, the average person will pick it up and internalize it as being a rant, internalize it as being, he's nuts, he's crazy. But in reality, what I'm telling you is literally the piece of the foundation of your modern day society. But you're not going to understand that, or it's not gonna trigger unless you start really paying attention. Now I could be like the all the researchers and tell you read this book, that book, but some of you guys, your attention span is so short that I gotta give it to you in basic levels. You guys just gotta go look at Mother Nature. You guys just gotta look outside, be outside, touch the trees. Just look at humanity. Now, don't just look at the positive, but look at humanity. Just pay attention to the evil. And when you see something that's just not right, make it your objective to see who's making these things not right. Somebody is teaching us these behaviors. Where does this behavior originate from? Where does it come from? Who is funding and who's giving this type of energy and persona and rebuttals to, you know what I'm saying? Who's giving us that? Come on. Think about that for a second. Think about that. For those that got children, please, if you have children, look at the purity of your child when your child is born. Just look at the purity. Now, when you see that purity, you then gotta ask yourself, when does that purity dies? How does that purity gets removed? And I'm gonna tell you. And you guys will be upset when I say this, but I have to tell you. That purity gets destroyed when a child enters two things: religion, church, synagogue, that, and school. The minute your child goes into one of their institutions and then being in those institutions for a long period of time, 6, 7, 8 hours, sometimes 12, when you see that these children are in those facilities for that amount of time, what you think is happening to that child? That child is being reprogrammed. That child is being reprogrammed. And that innocent young boy or young girl that you brought to school is going to come home one day and say, Mommy and Dad, can I wear these short shorts to the park? Huh? And then when you tie that up with what these religion people are doing, what these religious organizations is doing, is literally brainwashing these children, keeping them in a state of fear when they supposed to be in a position of power, like how David was. David didn't live his life in fear. Why are we teaching the children to live in fear? They need to learn to conquer. They need to learn to conquer survival. They need to learn these things. Today's children is not learning that. People, these are the things that we're supposed to be doing. Our children is completely lost, oblivious to what's really going on. And it's because of religion and the churches. Religion is also teaching the children what? Fairy tale stories. Sit back and have hope. Just have believe that you can fly. The last person that they believe can fly landed in jail. Come on now. To have faith is to have faith is to have faith is to believe in something that is fake. That's what faith is. To put trust in and appreciate something that is fake. That's what that is. You gotta have confidence. You gotta have trust. You gotta have understanding. It's a big difference. It's a big difference when you word certain things a different way and you stand by the ways that you word it. You can't have faith. You gotta have trust. I'm not gonna have faith in something. I trust you. I don't have faith in you. I trust you. I know you're gonna do right for me. I know I'm gonna do right for myself. You know you're gonna do right for self. It's a big difference. When I have faith, it's I have faith in you, bro. Don't disappoint me. But then when you do get disappointed, you're gonna be like, yo man, I don't know, man, but I did have faith in that brother. You feel me? That's the ideology. But when you operate and say, man, nah, bro, I trust you, man. I know you got you. Even the person that you say that to, a real individual will feel that and say, nah, I gotta get that job done. It's just little things like that. Little things like that we have yet to overcome and yet to conquer mentally. That's what's going on within. That's what's going on within these religions. That's what's going on within these schools. It's to destroy the minds of the youth. The individuals, the elderlies that's already in there. When you think they got broken when they was in their youth. They didn't get broken when they was an adult. They just made certain transitions, but they've been broken from the youth. Grandma had them in there. Great grandma had them in there from the youth. And then you add that up with being in school for a long period of time, what you think is gonna happen? You're gonna get a society with IQs above average, and then you're gonna get the IQs that's below average. This is what you're gonna get. This is where we at. This is where we at. It's sad, but what you want me to do? What do you say? There's nothing you can say. But these are the cause and the effects of what you see going on. That's how a child loses their purity. Just simple as that. Simple as that. A child loses their purity just by that alone. The influences don't start with the TV, please. A child brain is like a vacuum sucking everything. The TV's the last. It's not the only thing that the child is going to be absorbed to. That's what they want you to believe. The child conforms and become and start picking up on habits is when they start going into their institutions. From very young, listen, you thinking I'm lying? From very young, they already got initiation for your child. They call it what they call it, baptism, christening. From the time that the child is young, they already got something for the child. And from there, the child then is now oh no. From there, the child is then getting ready to be groomed to do what? He's gonna get groomed to take communion, and from communion, then he's allowed to eat the body, and drink the blood. So a child is being taught to be a hypocritical individual, because why would somebody want to kill himself in order to receive something? You get what I'm saying? When it's forbidden, when drinking blood is forbidden. But yet, the person that came to represent the person that said drinking blood is forbidden is allowing to drink blood. But this is how a child gets corrupted. Now, the fight, like I told you before, the biggest fight, the biggest battle is to correct what I just said. How do you correct that? How do you correct that? And if I tell you how to correct it, how many of us is willing to do those sacrifices? Because it's gonna take a collective bargain. It's not just gonna be one person. It's not gonna be just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 children. Oh no. It's gonna take the amount of 100 million, if not more, to be on this ideology in order to be strong enough, or at least have enough firepower to go against what you guys considered the war. Yeah, but not too many people is ready for that. So that's the answer for my brother. Before we even attempt to fight a war, we must first realize and know that we are at war. We are in a war. We was born in one. And in this day and time, the way these people are moving, they don't even care about the nationality. At least back in the days, we know there was a war against blacks. Now it's a war against everybody. White, Chinese. If you're not a part of that brotherhood, if you ain't a part of that bloodline, if you ain't a part of that, you are considered goyim. You are considered the enemy. Okay? And they're gonna do whatever they need to do to remove and have this place all for themselves. Keep a little bit of goyim to clean the streets, guarding their forests, guarding their forests, feed their goats. Some of them might need a black woman to nurture their child. It's just a lot of things, man. Just a lot. Just today I was driving. I'm coming home. Forgot where I was. I think I was like in the cuts of Bushwicks or something like that. Now I stop at the light. I just happenly just looked to my left, and I seen a sister just open up to a heathen. And I just looked and I just said, damn, sis. Another one bites the dust, man. And when I see that, and this is just me, and I wish everybody would be on this ideology or have this perspective, and I don't want to call it perspective, but a factual understanding. That when I see stuff like that, all I could just reminisce is what these people have done to my sisters against their will. Yeah, that bothers me. And it's no disrespect, but the truth is the truth. The very own Bible tells you that. It's called the orders of the universe. A lion and a tiger both walks on four legs, both got tails, both got fangs, both make noise when they yawn or when they growl, but you never see them intertwine with each other. Like I say all the time, I support everything that goes with what goes with individuals. For example, I support everything that a European do. If a European wants to marry another European, I support that. Keep your bloodline preserve your blood, preserve it. You don't want that contaminated. You want to preserve that. This is what these elite people are doing. They're preserving this. They're not just giving up their family members or relatives, their daughters, their sons to just anybody. They're preserving this. We're not doing that. What we're doing, we are creating hyenas. I mean, what they call them dogs? We are creating that chihuahuas. That's what we're creating. We're creating chihuahuas. Chihuahuas is what we're producing. We're not producing the strong, pure that blood. We're not promoting that. All everybody. I'm contaminated. You contaminated. Everybody's contaminated. The world doesn't have its purity no more, and we got to restore that order. Because something that's not pure is tainted. When it's tainted, is it would never be at its full potential. See, we as individuals, we're not at our full potential. Minus the distractions that come with the phones and the education and the religion. Us being pure blood, we're not pure blood no more. We're contaminated, and we have become weak. We have some level of deficiency, no matter what it is. The people that you see that's pure blood, they never get sick. They never have problems. They're fully muscular. Everything. I'm talking about the pures, the pure breeds that didn't breed and intermingle and do none of that. Those individuals, they're pure, strong. And Europeans, you will want that as well. You want to be strong. You got to stay with your kind, man. Chinese stay with their kinds. Look at the Chinese children right now. These little niggas is, look, these children is like 5 years old, ready for war. They doing things that our children couldn't even fathom to do. The only thing our children know how to do here in America is twack the back. That's it. These people is over here flying off jump ropes. They flying off ropes. They doing all of that. Playing basketball with both hands. The hula hooping while playing basketball. Like they just on a whole nother level when it comes to training and stuff like that. We're not on top of that, and that's another thing. But those things that I mentioned, those things got to be addressed before we can even have a conversation of doing what the Chinese people are doing with their children. Why you think that? Why you think these guys are now putting a bill in place to drive people? Because everybody's such in a state of comfortability. Nobody ain't trying to fight that. So they gotta force you into joining something that you're not meant to be in. And yes, we know what these 1%ers are doing. They're doing that to you know to to destroy the mass population. It's a game of chess. Like literally, that's just what's going on. It's a game of chess, and they're literally operating that chessboard. And we gotta make it to that other side of the seat. That's all I'm saying. We gotta make it to the other side of the seat. Whoever he's playing chess with, somebody gotta move off that stool, and we gotta sit there. We gotta push back and let them know we taking over this game. That's how the thing's gonna get won. But all of these things, all of these distractions, all of these devices, all of these schools, all of this internet, if you're not using it wisely, you will be sucked into the www dot, the World Wide Web, the 666. 666 is technology, people. I say it again. 666 is technology. That's just what it is. But yo, fire episode out right now, man. The numbers is doing phenomenal. I definitely want you guys to tune in, man. Watch that. Why the black man got no power in America. Come on, man. What you waiting for? Tune in, support that. Um, if it's your first time, you already know, man. Hope it's not your last time. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth time, that means I'm still on your mind. And you know what that means? You got to get on that grind because it's time. It's time. But it's your brother man from the motherland, and I'm going to holler at y'all. Come on.